So again, just to paraphrase, one thing that we named with our working agreements, I heard a few comments that were kind of all around this joy that we'll have consistency in the language, different groups named, so that if I talk about this and you talk about this, we're talking about the same thing. But then also in like the fact that there'll be an organized plan. At the same time, we know that we always differentiate and we always adjust pacing based on our students' need. But I overheard one person name, but it's not just picking things out of the air based on what we think our kids need next. There is some kind of a sequence to encourage those collaborative conversations with our colleagues so that we, of course, will revise, but at the same time, we have something to start with. And that is exciting, and that is the feedback of others who have done this work before. So the last piece, and the piece that, just honestly, we probably are not going to finish in these 3 days, is the grammar mini lesson. So once we have things paced across the year, we need to decide how we best teach that within the context of writing. And the best way that we found, and many, many other people have found, is that we would use the same gradual release of responsibility process that is used in many writing process instructional models. This mini lesson format where we draw students together, even high school students. We have a colleague in Muskegon County leading high school work, and she still brings her 12th grade football players on up to the rug. They just have to be touching the rug somehow. High schoolers, they just need to be touching somehow and hanging out. So we draw students together, and we explicitly teach. We connect with what we've already been doing in our unit as writers, how we've been developing this work, and we decide, here's the thing we're going to learn today. We have a clear teaching point. It is the learning target of the day. We name that explicitly for students. And then we say, let me show you how I do this. We often use our own writing. We use mentor texts, other authors' writing. And we say, here's how it could go. Let me show you. And then we have active engagement where students are doing this work. They are writing and they're trying right with us before we release them to independent work, so that we're using that formative assessment process and we're checking in. How's it going? Okay, so let me listen in on this partnership. We're trying, we're talking. We might adjust a little bit. We then link to their writing work, not only of today, but all of the writing work that they're doing within this unit and beyond. And then that work actually finds itself in their writing. This is only one process. There are other ways. Jeff Anderson's invitation to notice, Vicki Vinton and Mary Aaronworth call it sentence apprenticeship. That is a way as well. And that's a way that a lot of people have done, like bell work at the beginning of the day, where we're noticing a sentence, copy change in our notebook, that kind of thing, processing. But what we found, and what is suggested by a lot of these professional texts, is that we also need direct, explicit, full mini lessons where students then write and we confer. So here's just one example. There are many examples for you in the Google Drive that we are going to be sharing with everyone. This is just one. And we've also found, especially Jen Orton's depth of work with this, we've also found that it's important to always do certain things with these grammar mini lessons. So the criteria that is in very small font, and we're sorry about that, but it's also online, so you can expand that however you'd like. It's on the inside right part of your folder there. And we've just found that there are some things that are kind of non-negotiables, that students must use this grammar work that we've just taught them in their writing immediately. We really want that grammar that transfers. So if they're really doing this work and we're really coaching into it, a mini lesson could look like this. And that'll be the work. So once we've defined and then paced with grammar calendars, then we're going to be doing the work together to actually create some of these mini lessons. That's why the invitation in the email named, if you have mentor texts that you know you teach and use a lot in writing, you might want to bring that. That would support that. You can also access a lot of things online that would help you. But our goal is to have a few mini lessons done, and maybe from kind of the beginning of the year of the grammar calendar that you've paced out, so at least we have that start. There is a hope that we would be able to, in an organized way, keep this community going and keep creating mini lessons so that we have those throughout the year. And at the same time, after these 3 days, you'll know the process and you'll be able to do that for yourselves and for your colleagues. Okay, one last process, if you could, this last piece of the plan, the explicit direct mini lessons. What are you thinking about that? How's that new or the same as what you've done? Go ahead and chat.